Hey, what it is? How you doing today? My name is Pablo Malco, My Life Unedited, with another daily reminder. Today we're going to talk about perception, our truths, the stories that we create, and how they affect our lives. Okay, so as a black man in America, I used to be very self-conscious because I grew up through the 80s and the 90s, and watching television was more conditioning and had more of an effect than I realized. You see, everybody that I ever saw on television that was considered beautiful didn't look like me or my mother. The people that were smart also didn't look like me or my mother or my brother or my father. I was wondering if there was some type of superiority from other races over black people because black people were not being held up in this kind of light. And more than that, they were also on the media saying that, you know, black kids did this again, black woman does this, black man does this. And I would go out in public and I would have this aggression thrown in my direction and I wouldn't even know why. But then it occurred to me, everybody's watching the same news. Everybody's being fed the same narrative. Black people are gangsters, black people are robbers, black people are killers, black people steal. So it was a very harsh conditioning. And for so long, I used to carry this around knowing that or assuming that because I got it so much, everybody was feeling the same way. Eventually, it became part of my personality. I carried myself in a way where I would look harmless, where I would almost change my voice so that you wouldn't be frightened by me. I didn't want you to think I was going to rob you or kill you or steal from you. I wanted you to not be afraid. So I would change my voice, speak a little softer. I'd hold myself a little bit more reserved because I was afraid of what other people would think. Even with social media today, the narrative continues, you know, um, except now there are people of all races with the same information at their fingertips and more things are becoming exposed. Now I'm seeing all these brown kids going to Ivy League colleges, graduating high school at 14 and 15 years old, excelling in sports, things that I didn't see in the 80s and 90s in this country, even though they were probably happening. You see? So I had a narrative in my head that everybody was racist. And I'd be out in public sometimes and somebody would look at me a certain way. And the first thing in my mind is they're racist. Or I would say hello to somebody and they would look at me and not respond. Or they kind of shrug me off with like a little response, but not really want to make eye contact. And I used to be like, oh, that person's racist. I live in Florida. I'm sure I was right most of the time. However, I realized something else about people. Most people are socially awkward. Most people do not have the social skills and the social ability that some of us have. So more than being racist, they're just unresolved in some areas, which it could be the case, meaning, their parents told them that black people are bad. Uh, they know it's not true, but they can't seem to let it go because it's been their tradition and their belief system for so long. If they let it go, it may ruin their world, even though they know that they're holding up a false narrative. It makes them feel better or it keeps them in a safe place where they feel protected and safe, okay? Because they've known about this their whole life only in this way. And a lot of us handle things that way. But a lot of times I realized that a lot of people were just socially awkward. They didn't know how to deal with a confident black man that looks them in their eye and speaks with confidence and without fear. Okay, so a lot of times it wasn't that they were actually racist. Maybe they are. A lot of times it was they didn't know how to communicate with me. Not only me because I'm black, they don't know how to communicate with anybody on that level. They don't know how to have an adult conversation that they're not in control of. That is not about the 4 or 5 things that they usually talk about with their friends and family. They may feel like you can see right through them. They probably feel like you can see their hate. They probably see that you can see their insecurities. You can make your assumption that the person is racist, or they didn't like your hair. Should I have, people the same color as me treat me just as bad too? I say hi to them and they don't respond. The truth of the matter is they're insecure. They're unevolved. They're still immature in the way of open conversation. Some people never grow out of that. So that's worth considering sometimes when people are making you feel a certain way. It may not have anything to do with you. It just may be that person's shortcomings and their insecurities, and not anything to do with you or the person you are. I guess the point of what I'm trying to make today is be proud of who you are. It's not for everybody, but at least you will not be carrying the burden of trying to be somebody else, trying to play down your greatness. Be you. You will find those who appreciate you for you, and you will bring some happiness, enlightenment, and great qualities to somebody else's life. With that being said, thank you so much. Pablo Malco, My Life Unedited, with another little daily reminder.